video on how I fix my Ricoh GRIIIx DNG files to make them editable in Capture One. So just to state the problem, Capture One does not officially support the Ricoh GRIIIx yet. I know it takes them a while with some of these smaller camera launches, so it leaves a little bit to be desired. Just to kind of state the problem a little bit here, the colors look off, and you'll notice as we look at, for example, white balance, our white balance data is way off. I know for a fact the shot was around 5,000, 5,500 Kelvin. And obviously we can see that tint slider is way off, showing 47.9. That's wild. And trying to edit this, it's really hard to get those colors to represent accurately here. I've heard a lot of folks call out maybe trying to change the ICC profile from the Ricoh generic to the Ricoh GR3 generic. But again, that doesn't fix the root problem that we run into when trying to edit these files. The workaround that I have found for this is to edit the EXIF data and basically trick Capture One into thinking we're editing a Ricoh GR3 file as opposed to a Ricoh GR3X. There are lots of tools you can use to modify the camera EXIF data. The one I use is a open source software called exiftool. I'm on a Mac here, but I'm sure there are other options on Windows or other platforms as well. There are probably options as well that are not command line based as well. I can't speak to those. So what we're going to do here is open up a terminal. We're going to navigate to the folder that has our Ricoh GR3X DNG files in those. Just going to list files in this folder. We'll notice here we've got the same two DNG files that we've got in Capture One. This is my Capture One session folder that I've got for these. And we're going to inject a command here, basically using exiftool. And what we're saying is exiftool, we're going to modify the model and UniqueCameraModel to show it as a Ricoh GR3. We're going to modify any DNG file that is in this folder. So we're looking for that extension DNG, and when you see this command, make sure you use that period at the end. So we're picking up all of the files. So I'm going to go ahead and run this command here. Obviously, only 2 DNGs in this file. In this folder, it ran very, very quickly. If you've got 100 DNGs, it'll run a little bit slower, but just give it a moment to complete. Now I'm going to flip back over into Capture One, and we're going to look at this same file here. And we can see right away that our white balance looks a lot more normal. So 5,300 Kelvin, tint of 10.1, as opposed to the 6,000 Kelvin and 47 tint that we saw previously. And from here, I find that these files edit exactly as they should. Really haven't run into any issues. All of our lens corrections, I don't think it applies to any of these, but it really doesn't seem to impact anything there. And we can really quickly go in, and I'm going to just apply a custom style just to kind of maybe fix that a bit. I still think it looks a little bit magenta, so we'll adjust that out. We'll add a bit of warmth to this. Edit to taste here, but really that exiftool enables us to make these files usable inside of Capture One in a way that has not been the case yet. Now, hopefully Capture One will release an update in the near future that will provide us with official GR3X support, and all of this will be unnecessary. Until that time, this is kind of my process. Now, one thing I will note is when we export these files, that EXIF data is going to transfer into the JPEG as well. So I use Apple Photos to keep track of all my JPEG files. They will show up there as GR3 files and not GR3X because we modified that EXIF data. You can use a similar command once we export these to modify those JPEGs back to reflect the GR3X. I usually don't mess around with that too terribly much. But yeah, that's the process in a nutshell. Really easy to do. I know command line can be a little bit daunting for these, but I've had really good luck in modifying that EXIF data. Hope this helps you. I will probably post an updated video at some point down the road as well.